There he goes, direct overhead. Military. Yeah, so back out on the street again, guys, and it is rather miserable. So you got security following me everywhere I go.
You start asking questions, you start opening up Pandora's box, you start seeing how deep the rabbit hole goes, you know, if you choose that path. You know, if you don't, you don't. But then basically that's when you get the government attention, because now just like when I started waking up to being a super soldier, I had black helicopters flying all around me all the time with the black helicopters that were flying, right? Which I did find out, because me even revealing this information right now is pretty crazy for me to reveal. But the black helicopters aren't actually black helicopters. They are what I was talking about, Operation Green Star. You know what I'm saying? MyLab TR3 series crafts that actually have the holographic projection technology to appear as Blackhawks. They can appear as any plane, any helicopter, anything they want to be.
Look at this direct overhead gang stalking plane. Black and white, direct overhead. Black and white, direct overhead. Black and white, direct overhead. We're at Venice Beach. Direct overhead as I approach my vehicle. This is a gang stalk harassment buzz as it flies by. Using probably a hologram of some sort of Coast Guard or fire vehicle. Police helicopter flying over this area. So we'll see if we can get him on tape here. Come on. Another mysterious shapeshift where it looks like his middle finger turns into a short stubby thing with a claw, and you'll see that in just a second. It's like it sticks out, but it's like this little tiny stubby thing. And then here in this next frame, the next frame coming up, you'll see a little nail will stick out. See? Look at that little nail sticking out of there. It's really weird. I mean, it wasn't there a few frames ago, and then all of a sudden it's sticking out, and that's probably the beginning of his real hand, or his reptilian form hand, you might say. And it's just kind of weird how his hand looks like some sort of claw, and then here at the very end, it's like this, you can see the middle finger is a strange shape. Black and white, direct overhead. Direct overhead, direct overhead. Direct overhead. You can see this where I'm standing. Got this LA black and white LAPD. Came out right as I had the coffee out. Knew that I would have my hands full. They didn't realize I'd whipped this out as fast. Direct overhead. It's a direct overhead buzz. Believe it or not, it's a Los Angeles Police Department helicopter used to gang stalk harass me for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies.
me to a tunnel where I saw thousands of people fall into the abyss. And it was not like 1,000 or 2,000. It was like the sand of the ocean without number. They would fall like this per second. They would fall like handfuls.
This body died, fell on the floor, dead. The maggots will eat it up once you die. That spirit never dies. So, when I flatlined, I'm going to start my story right now exactly the way it was. I couldn't even cry. I was just being tortured. It was just so much pain. I went to a place that had a drop-off point, and these big black gates started opening up. And when I mean a drop-off point is, imagine if you're on the second floor of a building and you look down, that's the drop-off point. All I could see is from what I could see with my eyes, and as far as I couldn't see no more. It was like an ocean of people screaming and crying. And all I could hear is, "Get me out of here, please. Please get me out of here."
Okay, you got your yellow and green sheriffs. Turned away as I brought out the camera. Believe it or not, they make decisions on that kind of momentary basis. See, he was headed in my direction to go for a buzz, and he saw the demon in him knew that I had the camera, turned it around. So now he's turning around. Maybe working up the courage for another buzz over. Alright, here he comes. What are the chances of him flying over? See, here's where I am. Right here in the commons. What are the chances of a flyover? Not looking directly over here, are you, demon? Demon controlling that sheriff? And that guy there was standing there for a long time facing me, talking on the phone. As soon as I put the camera on him, he starts walking away. Okay, so we have a tracking helicopter. It's coming over here for a buzz. Look at the location. Direct overhead, direct overhead. This is a buzz, this is a buzz. Your taxes. Black and white Los Angeles Police Department helicopter.
And these were the peoples who first told me about a race of highly intelligent beings which they called the Chitauri, the talkers, a race of creatures which look like reptiles, who have ruled the world for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
The visitors are not our friends. They've come to rape our planet and kill us. They are not who they appear to be. This is not science fiction.
I had an office in the radar tower. It was the first office on the second floor in the back. Mm-hmm. Next to my office was another office, and I remember, I swear on a stack of Bibles, I remember a lizard man in that office. It was His Highness Draco something. I can't remember the other name. And he was about 6 foot, 7 foot tall, had sort of like scaly skin, humanoid. He walked erect like we do. He had 2 arms, 2 legs. He had a tail, but it really didn't show most of the time. He had somewhat of a humanoid face, strange eyes, a big mouth, and, you know, looked like what you would expect if you're going to put together a lizard man. There was a being on Star Trek called the Gorn that Captain Kirk fought on this planet. This man that I worked next to sort of resembled that being.
Your creature of the night, Michael. Your creature of the night, Michael.
Helicopter approaching, so we're going to see what the chances are of a flyover in this area. You can see this where my car is, and so we'll see if we got ourselves a direct flyover. We've got an approaching. You hear the approaching noise inside my car, and as I mentioned, on the 1st of January each year they like to do like a super buzzing of me to make it clear that they're going to keep this up forever. So each year. So we'll see. See, here we are right here. See, here's where I'm standing right here. Here's my car is. Helicopter is approaching. Black and white LAPD coming around for circling directly around. Not looking directly down here, are you? What did I tell you, friends? This is for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. Believe it or not, look, he circles right around me. Total brazen, out in the open, doesn't care. Just circled around me. Now, what are the chances, friends? Hold on, I'm gonna ask you, friends. What are the chances of that guy buzzing around me right now? Like what I said. And you see the way he came right like that, buzzed right around me. I didn't get close up on his face, but probably he was looking down. I couldn't see it in the viewfinder, but we'll see when I blow it up. So did you see that, friends? And see, all these people here don't notice it, but I mean, that right there is proof positive that I know what I'm talking about, and this is real. What are the chances? By the way, I have no criminal record whatsoever, have no questionable affiliations whatsoever. The only thing I ever did was upload reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. Reptilian shapeshifter movies. That means, friends, that they have non-humans on the force, because who else would care about this? If this wasn't non-humans, why would they do this? Who would care about it? Why would they have a helicopter fly out? And I told you, see, that whole thing you saw, that whole thing. So there it is, friends, right there, January 1st, 2021. All right, so you want to see one of these non-humans? Here we go. This is from the 1982 movie Blade Runner, and you tell me how this scene, the bathroom scene, which anybody can zoom in on, get the Blu-ray, play it on a 1080p display, I recommend, because the Blu-ray's, the 4K screen, by the way, separates the pixels a little too much and blurs it out a little bit, but if you play it on a 1080p display on your laptop or whatever, but the Blu-ray, so you can get the best definition, you will see in this bathroom scene where he's running from this bad guy, the main killer android, and it starts in the back, and you see his hand transform into a partial claw, and then as he's running through, see, they didn't catch this, but you see the most distinct shape-shifting I've ever seen, a row of 4 horns, as you can see from the picture here. I'm going to put it up here next to you so you can see. But, I mean, tell me how that's a video anomaly. Tell me how you achieve that as a video error. Okay, you can see the shape of the horns, like they kind of look like little things like this. Imagine what this thing's face really looks like, friends. Okay, here this looks like nothing, but this is the second time they use. By the way, if you get gang stalk, you notice they'll use repetitive things in certain repetitive colors. I've seen this all the time. It's very common. And in my case, what they use white cars. And this is the second white car to come and park right here. No, the third. I'm sorry, the third. And it's just interesting how like the Satan that's in them, and the people that are driving. I have no idea. They just, for some reason, oh yeah, let's just stop right here for some reason, and it's right in that same spot there, so that I would see. So it's like not like right in front of me blocking me in, but it's like right so I can see it. And it's just really weird just to confirm that. And I realize like a lot of people are gonna be like, oh yeah, some guy just stopped at some park, blah blah blah, but it's just weird how, see, there's all this space right here, and there's no reason, there's no empty spot right there for him to think about, pulling in for a spot, and that's a fire hydrant there, so it's not like he's contemplating parking right there. But it's just really weird how that kind of thing goes on. Recording for the record that they gave me 2 dive bomb attacks about 10 minutes ago at 2:45 a.m. Day after New Year's Day, and so it was a wake-up buzz, quite low, and there was 2 passes. Maybe it was a hologram. Of course, can't be sure. Direct overhead plane. It just turned and did a direct overhead. Helicopter approaching. Here it comes. Direct overhead, direct overhead, direct overhead, direct overhead, direct overhead. Silver and blue LAPD. Your taxes for stopping somebody from uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. Okay, what you're going to see here is a security guard, Perry, from the Topanga Plaza, as I enter into the food court area, in no suspicious form or dress, starts staring at me, and then starts following me, very obviously. And I kept walking, and I glanced behind me. Sure enough, he's still following me and staring at me. And then so I decided to stop to see what he would do. And I stopped, and as I was on my way to the restroom, and he kept walking past, and then in this clip that you're going to see, it's just a little tail end because I started up the phone camera, and you'll see him like stopping there, kind of like not knowing what to do, like seeing what I'm going to do or what's going to happen when I walk by, and obviously waiting for me is the point. I just want to confirm that Gmail has blocked some of my critical email, so they are in fact messing with that, and there's no question about it. There was an email that I was supposed to get for a job, and I didn't get it, and I didn't call the person back for a couple of days, and then something reminded me to check in the trash, and there it was, and there was no reason it should be in there, and I think they're doing that on purpose to hinder me, Satan hindering me. Gmail.
They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they need to be, they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. The higher echelon that are actually helping them acquire this.
So human beings are abducting the kids and giving them to the Greys, who in turn give them to the Alpha Draconians?
That's right. That's part of the deal. They won't come up as long as we feed them down there. You understand? It's about human beings selling themselves out. There's something wrong here. What's wrong with this picture?
Why else are they dangerous to humanity?
Because they don't like us.
And what are they willing to do with humanity?
Eat us.
Enjoy your comfortable stay.
We'll enjoy my comfort.
2 military-style helicopters, black, flying directly overhead. Here's where I'm standing. Directly overhead. Directly overhead. That was a buzz, that was a buzz. Right as I got up, the helicopter flew overhead. So they like to get you when you're coming or going. Okay, so you got security falling behind. Security falling behind. As I entered in, he pulled out and pulled out behind me. Okay, here he is again. So he followed me in. He pulled out of this back entrance here, loading at dock, and then he circled around, followed me in, and then he went this way, circled around like this, and then out that way. I'm recording a major gang stalking incident on the 18th of January at 12:30. I was pulling into the Commons in Calabasas, which is a shopping center, and I noticed off to the left a security vehicle, a larger sedan, which I hadn't seen before. And as I was pulling in, I wasn't thinking anything about it, and then I noticed he pulled up behind me and followed me in. And so he kept following me, and I pulled out my video camera and I started recording it, and I sensed that he was behind me, and I put the camera on him, and I saw him in the rear view mirror. I saw him like make like this expression like yeah, you're a punk or something like that, like he knew, because he could see that I was recording him. And then I parked, and then he circled around slowly around me, and then parked in front of the right in front of the Ralph's, the supermarket. So I'm going to be recording in the future. If that guy does that again, I'm going to be recording every time I come in, every time I go out, and every time I'm walking anywhere in the complex. And I'm going to be recording if this guy further gang stalks me. It was a significant gang stalking event. I've been majorly gang stalked in that in that Commons area before, but this guy I hadn't seen, and that vehicle I hadn't seen, a full size sedan. Usually it's like a little cart or something, and they're waiting at the entrance or something like that, and then they followed me out, or they're waiting in the front or something like that. But this time it was a full white sedan. Looks like maybe like a new security whatever apparatus, and it was significant that he takes and pulls out of the rear entrance of the Ralph's and gets in the line behind me and follows me in. Okay, here's where I'm standing. Silver and blue LAPD, direct overhead, direct overhead. Notice the curving for a direct overhead. Your taxes for gang stalking, for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube. Reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube.
Before I go forward, I'm not saying this to scare you guys. I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm just telling you, this is the true what happens after death. I've seen all this. I've seen rivers of fire. People are burning There's been people burning there for many, many, many years, hundreds of years. People their flesh burns. They burn, and the flesh falls. And your bones get nice and toasty and black and gray. And when it's done, then the flame, your skin, your flesh starts growing back on you. And then the flames start again. And I also seen maggots crawling through your flesh, in your bones. And they're eating you. They're eating your flesh. It makes no difference. Just picture yourself now in the earth. If you have bugs or maggots eating your flesh, how would that feel? But you're in hell already. There's nothing you can do. You have to. That's the torture. That's your everlasting torture life in there. I seen teenagers for the disobedience of their parents. I seen pastors because it said in the word, for they have robbed me of my tithing. I seen Christians because they didn't want to get up and do anything for God. And then Christians doing things at home, thinking that nobody will see them. I keep repenting, but they just never got out of doing what they kept doing and playing with God. They were either warm or either cold, but they're lukewarm. They just kept playing and playing and playing. But the flames there rise higher on Christians. Demons torture you in different way, even sexually. As I'm walking through these dirt road, there's fire and there's screaming, there's shouting, and people are saying that, let me out. Let me out. I want to do right. I want to do right this time. I promise to right. Let me go out and tell the world and let them know that this is a real place. Hell is real. But it's too late, because once we have our opportunity and our chances, God's so merciful, He's so lovable, He gives you chance after chance after chance. And if we don't take that chance, that's where we're going to go.
If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.